And Neil, firstly, you attended the referees meeting last night. How did that go from your point of view?
It was very good. It was a lot of points put across from both sides. It wasn't like referees against the managers. It was just trying to find a common ground, and it was very productive.
Tell me, what points did the managers put across, and what response did you get?
I think the main sort of the main topic was VAR. The referees felt, first of all, we brought up the full-time referees, and then talking about the referees going full-time, which can be difficult for them with the professions that they already have. And then the referees brought up the fact that VAR would be far more productive and beneficial for them. And then it was thrown out to the managers, and they were unanimous in saying that VAR would be welcome into the game here.
Do you think we could afford it in Scottish football?
I don't know, is the question. I think, and there's be a time scale on it as well, like in terms of what kind of VAR do we use, because it's used in different countries in different ways. Obviously there's a cost to it, and that may come from SPFL clubs if they can agree to it. But I think the unanimous findings were that most people in the game, and certainly from the referee's point of view, would be in favour of it.
I think it would answer everything though.
No, but it would certainly be a great aid for the referees, as we've seen. It's not perfect, but it's certainly, John Fleming made the point, 93% of decisions are correct in Scotland, which I find debatable. No, I was joking. And if VAR is brought in, then it goes to 98%. So, basically, it's not a perfect thing, but again, it's a need to help the referee, which we're all for.
The compliance officer was there as well, and one of the issues this season has been the disciplinary and the way things have been when the notices of complaint have been issued, and the way they've been dealt with thereafter in terms of appeals. Did you get any clarity on that?
It's just a new system or a new procedure of doing it, and Claire was very informative in the way that it's handled now. And obviously there's still a bit of a confusion at times between appeals and actually the tribunal process as well. So that was explained fully, and why appeals we brought up. They'll look at things on a Monday, and she gets expert opinion from other people as well. And I think only 6 have been used out of maybe 16 that she's used so far. So again, it's a work in progress, as all new procedures are.
What did the referees want from the managers?
Good question. Maybe in terms of the media side of it, to be a little bit more balanced at times, which is difficult for managers, and they understand that.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be.
No, you don't have to be, but they are human beings, and they are prone to error, as we all are. But what we don't want is what we've seen over the last few weeks happening to a particular referee. It's just unpalatable, and that's not down to the managers or anything like that, but sometimes we could all maybe sort of stem the flow a little bit by just being a little bit less emotional, but sometimes that's a very difficult thing to do, and the referees understood that.
Any follow-ups planned in terms of
Yeah, I think Ian Maxwell was sent out communications today to maybe look at doing it again later on in the season. But it was very, very good, and it was done in a good atmosphere. All the majority of the managers were there, all in good humour and good form, and a lot of things stay in the room, obviously, but a lot of very good points were made from all sides, really.
How beneficial do you think it would be having these meetings more regularly?
Well, when you say regularly, you'd only need to maybe do it maybe 2 or 3 times a year, really. So I think it was, a good initiative, and it clarified a few things for our point of view, and certainly for the referees' points of view as well.
Is it better having to sit down with these individuals that you only really see in certain environments?
Yeah,
as a match, be able to sit down with them?
Exactly, yeah, and maybe get a better understanding of where they're coming from and vice versa. So it was, it was open and transparent and good.
You know, obviously after games you also have the chance to speak to referees as well. How different are these discussions in terms of what you have after matches as well?
Well, obviously a lot less emotional. But you have a 15-minute window before you can go and speak to the referee. I've only done it once this year, just for clarification on the decision. I was happy with the answer with, but obviously there's been other contentious issues over the piece. And when the referee, makes a decision, it's final. And then when it goes to a claims process, the referee is out of it, basically. And then it's down to the expert opinion and obviously the compliance officer as well. So it's not always a referee's input again that comes after the decision. In terms of talking to the referees after the game, you do have a 15-minute cooling off period, but by that time you may feel it's not worth it, or you do. We're looking for clarification, or sometimes we're maybe just looking to vent off a little bit, but in my own opinion and my own experience, it's not really been beneficial to me to go and speak to the referee 15-20 minutes after the game. So, I mean, you could speak to other managers to see if they find it. And some point was brought up with some going with laptops and iPads, and that's not ideal either. Because regardless, you can't change the decision. And, the referee's not going to sit there and then go, yeah, I got that wrong. But in the cool light of day, maybe a couple of days later, they do realise that sometimes they've made a mistake and they have to live with it, and it's difficult for them sometimes.
That was the end of a busy day for you yesterday, getting Scott Allen through the door. Mm-hmm. How important a signing is that for you? Obviously, someone you know very well.
Well, hopefully we can get him in before the end of the month. If not, then we've got a good player in the building for the start of next season. On a long-term contract, which we're delighted about because we know his qualities and we know what he'll bring to the team. And we sort of missed that first half of the season. He had a huge impact here, this time last year. If we can get him in, and there will be a bit of negotiation to go on that. If we can get him in before the end of January, it'd be fantastic. But it's a brilliant signing for us, going forward.
Are you in discussions to try and get him in January?
Well, it's being mooted, but we're at the minute we're concentrating on a few other deals as well.
Is one of those Stefan on the Onga?
Yes.
How far down the line is that one?
Well, according to Geneva, it's done, but it's not quite over the line just yet.
And what sort of player is he, and what would he bring to your team?
He's got good energy. What he'll bring to the team is legs, particularly in the middle of the park. He's got good calibre as well. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold here. He's got good energy, good pedigree. He played for Geneva in a lot of games last year in Serie A level. He's played a few games this year, under 21. He's youthful, but he's got great attitude for the game. Technically, he's good. Type of player that we like, can get us up the pitch quickly.
And that's one you expect to go through?
I don't expect it, but we're hoping that it will go through.
And any other areas which you're looking to strengthen?
Striker, still, but very, very difficult period. Everyone's looking for them, so they've made a few inquiries for players, but nothing confirmed just yet.
We spoke so much in about December and the quantity of fixtures. How beneficial was this break away?
Hugely, getting recovery, getting some fitness work into them, getting them a break mentally and physically. So we're really looking forward to the second half of the season.
So looking ahead to this weekend, is it, obviously you take the cup seriously, but
yeah, very.
Is it a chance to see some players who you've maybe not seen?
No, straight into it and going full strength and get up and running again. And we're taking this, it's a trophy that meant a lot to the club. Winning it a few years ago, it means a lot to me personally, and one competition that I would like to, progress in as far as we can. Keeps the season going, and we have a bit of catching up to do in the league as well. So, starting from tomorrow, we're looking, for a really good second half of the season, because, to be honest with you, the first half of the season hasn't been up to our expectations.
You have to maybe kind of adapt the way the playoffs, losing Martin Boyle, there's a bit of width in there as well. Got Ryan Golden likes to play more in the centre. Is that something you're going to have to kind of?
Yeah, we've lost Ambrose as well. We're, going with back three. He, suited that style very, very well. So we've lost two very good players. One has left the club, obviously, and one out for the season. And again, that makes the task more difficult when you're losing two really important players. But we're pleased with Ryan, obviously pleased with Scott, albeit if it's short term coming in or not. Stefan to add to the squad, and we're looking at the top end of the pitch, and we may have to change obviously the way we play, but yeah, we're ready for that.
What has to happen for Scott Allen to come?
I don't know. I'm not involved in the negotiations at the minute.
Would you be looking to find a replacement for Ambrose this window?
It's not a top priority, no. It'd be hard to replace Effie, with the qualities that he brought. But you've got Poach's fit again, Hanlon's fit, McGregor. Milligan can drop in there when he's back from the Asian Games. So I think we're well covered there at centre half.
And is Ryan Gold a player we could expect to make his debut tomorrow?
Yes, if we get clearance. We're still waiting on international clearance, but we're confident that'll come through.
If you have to quantify, including Scott Allen, how many you want him by the end of the window, what figure would you put on it?
On top of Scott already?
Including Scott by trying to get him in this.
Oh right, okay. Maybe another 3 or 4.
How confident are you that that'll happen?
Well, semi. Hopefully Omianga, tomorrow, and then we're looking for strikers and wide men. So again, it's the final third of the pitch where, with the way we want to play the game, we need to, fill those slots in. Ayapong, he's been long term injured. Hopefully he will come back and play some part in the second half of the season. So the only fit winger we have at the minute is Darryl. Obviously Ryan can play in a wider area, but we may look to play him in a more central position. So we want a little bit of pace and width in the team as well. And striker.
How pleased are you to see Martin O'Neill back in the game so quickly?
Yeah, very. I was with him a few weeks ago, and he was in Glasgow. I caught up with him, had a bit of dinner with him, and he was in great form. I think it's a real coup for Nottingham Forest. People say he's older now, and yeah, he is. You tend to grow old within as the years go on, but he certainly hasn't lost that intensity or drive for the game. And over the past 25 years, he's been one of the best British managers in the game. So, it's brilliant to see him back.
You've played at that club. He's obviously a legend at the club, not just because of that, but because of the style of manager he is. Do you think he's somebody that can deal with the expectations and fulfil them at that club? Oh,
yeah. I mean, Martin's dealt with some huge clubs and huge expectations over the last, 20, 25 years. So it's always a new challenge, and you never take anything for granted, and he certainly won't. They've got a good squad there. They're in reasonable position in the league, so I think it's a good time for him to go in there. Obviously the board have seen all the things that we know about him in him. There's obviously a familiarity there for him, but that's by the by. He will maybe mean more to him then, to get Forest up and running, because he's got such an affiliation with the club.
Andy Murray looks like he could potentially play his last game earlier this week. Obviously he's been involved with Hibs over the last year. What have you made of the kind of public reception to his potential retirement this year?
I don't know, how's it been received? From our point of view, Andy Murray's a god. He's a sporting icon, one of the greatest British athletes ever. It's a huge loss to the British public, I think. It's one of them moments you always remember, the JFK moment when at match point at Wimbledon to beat Djokovic. That lad had so much pressure to deal with and so much expectation riding on his shoulders. And he didn't just get the semi-finals, he went on to get to the finals and play in an era where it's probably the greatest tennis era of all time, and he was right in the mix on his own, a cut well ahead of anybody else. And that is a huge burden to carry, but he carried it brilliantly. And he's left so many brilliant memories for so many people and been such an inspiration, and I'm sure he'll continue to do so after tennis.
Just to confirm on the younger, so do you know if, say it's over the line, but as far as you're concerned, it's not quite done yet?
No, it's not quite done yet.
Okay.
So we're hoping to get it done tomorrow.
Was any team news at all, just the usual?
Poaches is back in the squad, so he's fit again. Well, obviously he's not played for a little while. Dave Gray's almost there. You know, he's been training now for a few weeks. Just needs to get some game time into him, really. So yeah, it's Fraser Murray's back in the squad as well. He's been out for a significant period of time in the first half of the season, so it's nice to get a few bodies back in.